Hey, what is going on, footballers? This is welcome to Off the Balls podcast here with your co-host Adam and your co-host Nick. Welcome to the podcast. How you doing today?
You know, I've been a little bit better.
Been a little bit
Just a
better, huh?
rough week for me in the old fantasy footballs.
Oh, another rough week.
Mhm.
I had a decent week. I mean, my players didn't do well this week, but I managed to win two out of my three leagues, and then two of those leagues are the ones that really count. The crazy league, I fell short, but we'll get into that a little later.
Oh,
Um,
geez.
how'd your count go this week?
I went 1-3 this week.
1-3.
1-3.
Oh wow! And I know what league you won in. We'll go over that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get started with your rigid league right off the bat. Or sorry,
All right.
not with your rigid league. With the other league for you,
Yes, with the Capital League.
Capital League for sure, for sure.
Let me bring it up there for you.
Yeah, so this is week two of fantasy football. Some crazy things happened Monday night. A lot of close games that were decided on Monday night. A lot of people, including myself, were holding their breath throughout all those games. Like I said, I had really, really close weeks this week, but we managed to win on bad weeks, which is good.
I wish I could say the same.
when
Alrighty.
whenever you
So
uh,
this week I played Amy.
you got your screen
Um,
shared.
yes, I do. I should.
Let's see. I don't see it here popping up for me. Well, 1 minute while we do with the technical difficulties. This is gonna happen from time to time because we're both new at this. So, but I don't see your screen yet. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I see your screen.
Okay.
All
Is it
right,
on?
we're good. We're good. We're good. That
I
was on
I
my
can.
end, so we're good.
Alrighty, so I played Amy this week. Lost a close one. It was 116.5, 113.48.
Oh wow, super
Uh,
close.
yes, yes, yes. I could have done better. I thought Smith Schuster was gonna outdo Pollard this week. Hell, I thought Zeke was gonna outdo Pollard this week, but Pollard is looking more and more like the man, just like we talked about last week.
Yeah, yeah. No, Pollard is an exceptional running back. He's definitely getting the checkdowns over there in Dallas, so he's putting up good numbers, numbers you could almost rely on week to week now.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of got screwed. Mike Evans kind of screwed me. He tried to fight me and ended up taking all of my points. But on the flip side of that, Mike Williams went off this week.
Yes, yes. He had a very, very good week this week. That is a little bit help from Keenan Allen being out, but I think it's just Mike Williams stepping up and doing what Mike Williams is supposed to do on a week to week basis.
Absolutely. I was a little scared last week, but yeah, he's showing that he can still do it. He still got it.
I mean, they gave him a big contract. He needs to be performing the way he's performing, and as such a high draft pick that a lot of people got him, they need him to perform. He's a superstar. He needs to act like one.
Absolutely. I'll go through just kind of the quick.
I see you got 15 points from Zach Ertz there. That's actually a solid from your tight end. You love to see it.
y- Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Um. Oh no.
I think you have to go click on the league on
Full schedule.
the league on the top or the or scoreboard on the top. I think. Then it should show like the week this week. Nope. Actually, go to league. I had to figure it out last time too. Then schedule.
Oh.
Oh, just disappeared. Go.
Sorry, everyone.
No, no, it's totally fine. All these different apps we have to. Let's see, league. Um, right there on your left hand side. Scroll down a little, and then view full scoreboard. That should bring it up on the left hand side. Uh, So in the meantime,
One.
this is one of the leagues you did lose in, unfortunately. But it was a close game. It was 116 to 113. Did it come down to that Monday night for that as well?
There we go. Yes, it did. Every league, um, just about everyone came down to Monday night this week, but in this one particularly, yes. Monday night got me. Um, I can't remember exactly who was on her team Monday night, but I was actually up for the most part, and then
So a late
final
Monday victory.
a late Monday victory.
That's one thing that's frustrating with fantasy is when you have no more players left, and Monday they start creeping up on you and creeping up on you. This is her team, the one that you lost to.
Yes, I think I'm lying.
You think you're lying?
I think I'm lying.
Let's see. Yeah, none of those players played
Yeah, no,
on
I'm
Monday.
100% lying. Maybe
So
it
it
was me
was
creeping up.
maybe it was you creeping up. I
I
think.
know one of us was creeping up on the other.
Well, I mean, it's a terrible feeling when you're trying to reel them in and you just can't get those extra points. But let's see
Yeah,
how the
no.
rest of the league did that week, and did anyone remain undefeated in this league?
Yes, there is. I want to say there's one team. Gosh, my internet is so slow.
No, it's totally fine. Oh, so Hail Murray won again.
Oh, well, you knew she would.
Yeah, I mean that team's stacked, but it does look like she had a little bit of a scary week. I mean, that's I feel like that's going around the league this week.
Well, everyone's a little bit worried. The big name players aren't shelling out like they're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, we spent this draft picks on these guys, and it just seems like they decide when they want to throw up 9 points or 40. Um.
Well, here's final standing projections.
Oh. Oh. Let's see. That's pretty
There
cool how
we are,
ESPN does it. What are we looking at?
right over here. So we have Jason at 2-0. We have one team at 2-0.
One team at 2-0, USS Maine. Well, that's in the West
USS
standings,
Maine.
right? Because you guys
Yeah,
have divisions in that one. I think I saw two others 2-0, the Raiderette and Hail Murray.
yeah.
So you still have some people on Winners Island here in the what was the name of the league again?
No crying in fantasy football.
Yeah. I just wanted to hear you say it, because there's no crying in fantasy
Well,
football.
I'm getting close with how this season's going so far. So
Yeah, I mean, looking at the points discrepancy there, some of the higher teams are really showing out some points real quick. Um, I mean, 279 from the guy USS Maine, 2-0 in the division. You love to see it. Hill Murray 1-0, one away, win streak 2. I don't think it's showing up the second win on there on the division.
oh, that's a home and away. So one,
Gotcha,
two,
gotcha.
three, four. We got five teams at 2-0,
5 teams at 2-0. So
and
welcome to
five
Winners
teams at
Island.
0-2.
Oh, and then there's always the losers island. It's okay though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's early in the season. I mean, you're filling out your team, who to start, who to play, and
I've set up shop there. I'm just gonna live there for a while, make it cozy,
yeah. I mean, that's how you get priority on the waiver wire, right? You're playing the long
right?
con. All right.
Alrighty.
I mean, looks like those who performed in that league performed again, so you love to see it. We had some close games in there, but some winners eat. So Winners Island, they get to chill on there for another week. You love to see it.
Hmm.
All right,
All right,
next,
you want to go ahead and talk about your league?
yeah, next up we got. This is going to be my toxic league. Let's go ahead and share that. Let's see. So this is the Toxic League. This is the group of friends that I play with from year to year. So starting off here in week 2, uh, I took down J Ray, 105 to 93.96. he didn't have a good week, and that helped me because I did not have a good week. 105 is not acceptable from my team of superstars, in my opinion. Patrick Holmes gave me 17, but other than that, Leonard Fournette under 10. Javante Williams under 10. Brandon Cooks gave me under 10. Jamar Chase barely giving me 10.8. Darren Waller gave me 17, so you love to see that. James Robinson for the second week. I think last week he had 19. This week he had 15. So it's
Yeah, something like
showing.
that.
And Jacksonville came in and pounded Indy. So
Who would have thought?
who would have thought? So I think he's going to be the number one back over there. It's looking good. So, and then Randy Bullock, he kind of let me down. He was the last player I had on Monday, so he only gave me 1 point. But luckily, Justin Jefferson only gave him 10. So we skated by on that win. And then San Francisco's defense giving out 15 points. You love to see that.
Hmm.
We'll go over the rest of the league real quick for the Toxic League, happily named because we are all super toxic to each other on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. We did have
Toxic love.
one. We did have one upset here. I want to make a mention of this. Justin in our league, he was on a 13 game losing streak carried over from last year, and he lost yesterday. But if you look at the point total now, he actually won. So there was an adjustment to Jalen Hurts last night, or this morning, because he had a reception for 23 yards that never happened in the game, so that was removed, which brought Masputo's points down to just under Justin's, giving him the L for the week in going 0-2. So congratulations, Justin. You
Congratulations.
broke the 0-13 curse, so you love to see it. And another one, we had two undefeateds going up against each other. This was Chris and our buddy Pete, Lovers Island versus Tua in the Pink. Chris actually had a great week this week. He went 157 points. So, that's a solid week. Pete put up another fantastic week as well. But his Winners Island run has come to an end this early in the season. Mr. Spider's early exit from Winter's Island as well got noted there. Went down to Fiddy's Bodega, which is Chad, which had another solid week as well, 157 points. And pretty much everyone in this league besides me and J Ray performed. We had Shake and Baker for 140 over a
I
bunch
like
of
that
broke
name.
bitches. Oh yeah, over one broke a bunch of bitches for 133, and he was creeping up on Monday. So definitely, Shake and Baker was a little scared. So he pulled out the window. So we only have a couple guys that are on Winners Island this week, me included, Chad and Chris. So you love to see it. Welcome to Winners Island. And we have some Losers Islands in here. A bunch of Broke Britches is 0-2, and Masputo is 0-2 without getting their wins. So welcome to Losers Island. You guys just need to get better. Uh, I mean,
How
that's
about you just stop talking so much?
but it's a little crazy because the top three from this league last year are the only members of Winners Island. So it's kind of a repeat of last year. The guys doing what they do, just beating up on the rest of the league. So you love to see it. Let's hop over to the next league, and I think we're going to be hopping back over to your screen. So let's get that up.
Yeah, we're gonna go on the old rigid league here.
Rigid League. Let's see. All right, we're good to go.
We're looking a little bit better this time, huh?
Perfect.
Alrighty. So, uh, this week I did not perform, but that's not anything to worry about because, well, I'm sucking all around this year. I'm currently 0-2 in this rigid league, which is this is the one that I got second place in last year. So drastic changes. Now I played Ocean Report Expert. That's Romano. He's the one who actually beat me in the Super Bowl last year, and
Ah,
he didn't stop.
yeah, he had a dominant week with 152 over there. So he definitely, he wanted to show you who was the champ, which it hurts a little, but you'll get him in the long run. Don't worry about it.
It stings. It stings a bit. Now I don't know if you remember talking about it. There are points adjustments in this league, so 152 isn't as impressive as like one of our normal leagues. There is different. point systems based off of whatever you get. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
the fact that someone got 97.78 is it shouldn't ever happen in this league, but I'll show you this one right here. This one should show you a whole bunch of fun. Look at Lamar Jackson's numbers there.
Lamar Jackson with 99 points in that league. Sheesh. Yeah,
99 points.
they definitely dominated the first half. They had an upset loss against Miami, but I mean, 99 points from your star quarterback. You love to see that.
I didn't love to see it this week. I'd love to see it any other week but this week.
Ah,
So I mean, I mean, the points are definitely different as you can see. But I mean, Lamar just he went insane.
yeah, I mean, he single handedly took over that team, um, that which got you that loss that week. But it's you win some, you lose some. It's hard to compete with a guy that's dropping 99.
I think that I think out of every season thus far, that is the most points by one person. So
Oh wow,
that's gonna be hard to beat. I
yeah,
think the second closest is like 75 or something like that.
wow. So that's an exceptional week, and it has to be the week that you face him. So that's just
Exactly.
it's just the worst. People love to pop off when you're playing you that week. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. Oh, I lost you
Yep,
for a second. We're
we're
good.
back.
We're good. We're good.
Yep. But I mean, the fact that Lamar got him 99, he got 152. Other than that, he didn't have a great week. I just got beat by Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, and
Um,
sometimes it happens. I mean, later on, we'll see in the Easy Dubs League, you have a wide receiver that puts up 40 against you. It's hard
mhm.
to come back from that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
even harder to come back from a 99 point by one guy.
exactly. So I'm just gonna run down this. So Romano's now 1-1 because he beat me. I'm 0-2. God, better change my name to Owen. You got OG Hambone played my coochie's Harry.
Love that
They're
name.
both 1-1 now. With Gilbert getting his win. Steeler Nation. That's Isaac. Isaac is now 0-2 with me. He played.
Oh, well, we're losing him a little bit, so just bear with us. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay. Working from Mahomes. Lost there to 0-17. Get back coach. He's now 2-0. I think there's one, two. There's only two 2-0 teams here.
Oh wow.
So he beat Dangle Daddy, which all of us like to see. Dangle Daddy is one of those guys that you want to beat when you play him. In fact, I play him next week.
Oh, should be
Uh,
a good matchup.
I hope so. The Hooligans lost to Quality Matters MFers, and KC Chick got absolutely destroyed by Alpha Wolf.
Yeah, I was looking at that bottom of your screen, 191. So yeah, the points are definitely adjusted in that league, and he popped off that week. Let's see who he's got.
Well, you can see here he's got Joe Burrow gave him plenty. David Montgomery gave him 35. Garrett Wilson, Drake London,
Well, the 71 points from Tyreek Hill is nothing to sneeze about as well. 73,
70,
sorry.
73.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
definitely a solid week right there.
And then, I mean, even, let's see, his 49ers defense, 37 and a half.
Wow. Yeah, so
W-
all
Yeah.
around good week for him.
Yeah. He did really, really well. So he plays Isaac next week, who's 0-2. So that's probably gonna get another one there.
So it looks like he'll probably be 2-1 after his bye week next week.
hmm Yeah. You gotta love those those early bye weeks.
Those early bye weeks are always great. You take the wins when you can get them. You're playing for the playoffs, so any win, even if it's a win on a bad week, is a happy feeling.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything other to highlight in this league?
No, no,
All right.
no.
So we only have two people in this league on winners islands. We just want to go ahead and congratulate you guys too for just being better than everyone else. Congratulations.
Definitely better than me.
It's okay. It's okay. It's about the bounce back. All right.
Mhm.
Let's jump over to our work league. This is Easy Dubs. So let's bring that up real quick. All right, here we go. We have in first game of the week, we have me going up against Matt. It's Never Sunny in Philly. Unfortunately, he had a very close Monday night to take me out, but AJ, no, sorry, it wasn't AJ. It was uh, yeah, AJ Brown, right? He plays for Philly now.
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ Brown. AJ Brown just couldn't get him enough on Monday night to secure the win. So that's unfortunate for Matt. He's going to be starting this season 0-2. Who would have saw that? I mean,
I mean, I wouldn't.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't. He has a solid team, and it's just underperformed. I mean, my team underperformed this week as well. But we win those close matchups, so you love to see it. We got G Dogs taking on Redemption Year, which is you, and you had another solid week. Let's look over your roster again. So I mean, Jalen Waddle giving you 40
Oh my
points.
good. Well,
This,
I mean, just say Dolphins receiver.
yeah,
Fill in here.
yeah, exactly. Tyreek Hill had a huge week. Jalen Waddle had a huge week, but they're going into Buffalo next week, so something a little bit to be scared of the way that Buffalo defense is playing.
Do you think it's going to be an absolute shootout, or do you think it's going to be a close game?
I don't think it's going to be a close game at all. We saw the trouble that Baltimore Ravens gave Miami, and
Hmm.
they came back in a miraculous way. But until I see the Buffs defense get scored on like that, I'm going on the Buff side every time. Like I think they're just going to shut people down.
I can see
Um,
that happening.
yeah, I mean, we can talk about DeAndre Swift getting you 16 points. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense.
There it is.
What is
That
going
defense.
on in Tampa? They
I don't
scored. They
know.
scored what? Two touchdowns? Or the defense scored one touchdown for sure. But Tampa Bay overall scored two touchdowns right that week.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't understand. I think the defense is truly holding Tampa Bay. I mean, if you look at all Tampa Bay's players, you look at Tom Brady and Fournette and Evans, they're barely putting up any numbers yet. They won.
yeah, I mean they're not putting up fantasy numbers, but they're winning these games because their defense is literally shutting out other teams. And this is 2 weeks in a row, so the defense is
Hmm.
something scary to watch because if you can win a game when your defense or when your offense is just not like they're not performing to what they should be. Those are good weeks. I mean, they're going to get their offense together. I mean, they have Mike Evans out next week for the suspension, but hopefully they get Godwin back. Hopefully, when they get Evans back, they'll be to the point where they're a full fledged offense again.
Yeah, Evans kind of hit me, and he hit me in the three leagues.
Three leagues, huh?
I think this league, the Crazy League, and the Capital League. I think I had Mike Evans in all three.
Oh wow. So he definitely is messing with your fantasy football team by,
Yes.
just putting Lattimore onto the ground, but it's Tom fucking Brady. Who's going to defend Tom Brady more than goddamn Mike Evans? He's
Right.
about that life. So I respect him
Absolutely.
for doing that, but definitely hurts out your fantasy team. I know in our other league, Justin usually drafts Mike Evans, and for some reason, Mike Evans always ends up getting suspended. So, but at least it's only
Suspended
one
or
game.
hurt or
Yeah, at least
yeah.
it's only one game. So we have you beating Theo. So Theo's on a two-loss streak. You go to 2-0. Matt's on
Hmm.
his two-loss streak. Coming up here, we have another close, high-scoring game. Natalie almost reeled in Damien on that last night, but you know what? Close isn't close enough. Damien had an astounding week, a 160 scored. So he's actually the top of the leaderboard currently, sitting in first place with the 2-0 record. Just absolute. I mean, the team's popping off. I'm waiting for him to have a bad week.
I really thought Natalie was gonna catch him. I watched it go in, but honestly, with that blowout with Buffalo, they took out their players, and that's ultimately what did her in.
Yeah, I mean, and it would have been painful, as we saw in the other league, if she did catch him, and then Jalen Hurts got his points deducted and she lost. So, I mean, it's a little bit, I mean, it's still a loss, but it's a little bit less hurtful if you lose by like a recount, you know?
Yeah, because she was up over 150 last night when she went to bed.
Yep. Yeah, she had another solid week. I mean, a 147, nothing to sneeze about. That's a solid
No.
week. She would have beat anyone else in the league, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you have a great
Hmm.
week, and the person your player has an even better week. So uh, then we go up
I think that's
next.
what happened with you and Matt last week, correct?
Yeah, in the Crazy Point League, he had an amazing week, and then I just did a little bit better. So that's what happens, unfortunately. But that's the rules of fantasy football. You can have a great week, but you never know when that guy on the other side of the ball is gonna be popping off as well. We did have a battle of the 49ers here in the next matchup. We had Isaiah versus Ryan. Isaiah actually coming out on top of that. I think Ryan had Trey Lance in, and he did get hurt,
He
unfortunately.
did.
Yeah, so Trey Lance didn't get him any points, which, I mean, a 117 out of a player going down, that's still a decent week. But Judge did have a really good week. I believe, if I remember correctly, Judge had a player that, yeah, Nick Chubb and Tyreek Hill that combined for 70, was that 74 points? So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to beat right there. Tyreek Hill had a big week. Nick Chubb had a big week, 3 touchdowns over there in Cleveland, with the loss to the Jets, by the way.
I this whole year is just backwards. The Colts are getting blown out. Jacksonville's going crazy. Jets are winning.
I mean, the Colts are getting blown out. The Titans are getting blown out. It's just it's a weird, weird start to the year. But honestly, I'm loving it. Chris did get his first win of the season. He went against Bloss here on the bottom. Bloss had a terrible week. We're just gonna say this. I mean, I'm gonna put him on blast a little bit. He went to flex, I believe, Gabriel Davis, and he was out, so he just left his flex spot empty and scored 77 points this week. So, I mean, he probably will have some waiver priority. So, hopefully, he can figure it out for next week, get a bounce back week.
I'm gonna put Bloss a little more on blast. We saw a few of those last year. Last season we saw a few of those numbers from Bloss. Isaiah as well. Isaiah's really turned it around this season.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah back to back. I mean, even his first week was a decent week. He just played someone that did better. But he's scoring points. He hasn't had a game a week under 100. And last year, I believe he started out with like a 60-point game. So definitely improved from this year. Bloss, we're looking at you to be the most improved player this year. So we need you to step up a little bit, start taking some wins off these guys, except for me and Nick.
Yeah, get better, Bloss.
Get better. But that brings us to a little bit of a matchup for next week. So in this league, me and you face off this next week. We'll get into like the little bit other side of that, but we wanted just a little foreshadowing for that. Me and you are going head to head. We're both 2-0, so one of us is leaving with a loss.
Yes. Yes.
Ugh,
I'm not excited about it.
you're not excited
I
about it.
hate hurting my best friend like that.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna hurt watching you lose. So like, it's definitely gonna hurt me for sure. But let's go jump right into the crazy league. You ready?
Yeah. I
All
mean, did
right.
you see you did you go over the records in that one?
Oh, I did not. Let me just glance over it real quick. So we do have records in there. We have 3 people left on Winners Island in the crazy or in the Easy Dubs League. That's going to be Damien in first, you in second. So both Cowboys players on top this year, and
Yeah.
then me in third, 2-0 as well, squeezing out a win. So welcome to Winners Islands, boys. We still on it. You love to see it. Congratulations, congratulations. So, yes, sir. Uh, so let's jump into the Crazy League. You ready?
I'm always ready.
All right. So in the Crazy League this week, we had Matt perform again this week. He is the only player with over 1,000 points. He went against you, and you did not have the best week this week, unfortunately. But
He,
Matt is showing that he is a force to be reckoned with in this league.
I'm just gonna go ahead and correct you because I don't want to take anything from that. He's the only player to go over 2,000 points thus far.
Well, I mean a thousand points per week.
Oh yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, so he's currently sitting at 2,085 total points, which is ahead of everybody. Like I said, if he didn't face me that first week, then he would definitely be 2-0 in the league. Um,
Yep.
I fell short to Natalie. I had a little bit of an underwhelming game. Got a couple people that just didn't perform. I had 896, which is still not a bad week, but it's not good enough to beat Natalie. She had the second best score this week with 939 points. So that brings her up in the standings for her
Well, I
first
can.
win in the Crazing Point League.
Do you want to take a? I can't really look at it. It's on a different screen here, but we can go over Natalie's. Who got her the most points?
Yeah, let's see who that. I know who got me the least points. That was going to be Young Hoku with 0 points, and my
Yes.
defense wasn't too hot as well because I had Miami's defense.
Natalie actually just had everyone kind of show up. I mean, she had Herbert got her 169. Um, Amari Cooper got her 116.
Okay.
Diggs got her 178.
Yes,
Um,
across the board.
yeah, just everyone kind of showed up. Her worst player was Derrick Henry this week. Only got her 31, but Hurts got you 224, man.
Yeah, Hertz had a great week, and he was definitely trying to keep me alive. But like I said, the rest of my team wasn't really super. I mean, Justin Jefferson was a big letdown this week.
Yeah.
He kind of got shut down by the Philadelphia defense, which is looking kind of amazing at this moment as well.
Yeah, I know. I went to go try to pick him up off waiver wire today, and you got there just before me.
Well, I was trying to do it first thing this morning, but you do have, I think it was like 6 a.m. that
Yep.
the waivers become available. And in this league, we actually don't have like a waiver wire list. So as soon as they come available, you
First
could pick
come.
up and drop your team first come, first serve. So when I saw that they were available at that time, I scooped them up and I knew, I didn't know you were going for them, but I mean, I'm playing you in this week league as well. So kind of good for me.
Yeah, great minds think alike, huh?
No, definitely, definitely.
Now, I
Uh,
will let you know that we do have a new high scorer as far as single player in the Crazy League.
Oh wow, who is the new high scorer?
Lamar Jackson got Matt 299 points.
299 points. That is insane. I
Without
mean,
a fumble, he would have been at 302.
oh,
Yeah.
that's wild statistics right there. I mean,
hmm
you're definitely winning that week when you have a player do 300 points, you know?
Lamar's going crazy. He went crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and Lamar's always had the talent to do so. I mean, he's fantasy football gold, and I mean, Jalen Hurts not too far. I mean, he's about 80 points behind him, but Jalen Hurts that just shows how much dominant like Lamar was this weekend because Jalen Hurts had an amazing game, and he's
Oh yeah.
still 80 points behind Lamar. So, I mean, Lamar definitely had like I mean, hats off to Lamar. I mean, I know they lost that game, and a crazy thing to Tua. I mean, I kind of worry. I wonder what Tua's points were for this crazy league week.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean we'll have to bring it up next week, or but I mean it's he's got to be right up there with Lamar. I mean he threw for 6 touchdowns, so I mean he had a crazy week, and I wonder if anybody has him in the league or if anyone's going to be picking him up in the league.
Maybe. I mean, no one has him as of now. But yeah, I don't see anybody. Maybe not this upcoming week with Buffalo.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, yeah definitely with Buffalo coming up, you can't expect a team to perform against Buffalo until proven otherwise. So it's definitely a hard play on them. I do think Waddle and Tyreek Hill will get their touches, but it's not going to be in volume like it was last week.
Absolutely.
Then we finalized the last game of the week would be Chris versus Ryan. Chris did pull out that win. He had a good week. He had 927 points, which is really, really good. Ryan fell short again. Unfortunately, only a 708-point week. He is the only one that is 0-2 in this league, unfortunately, in 1526 points. He is this week's do better, Ryan.
He's just do better, Ryan.
Right, we want you to win, but we want you to succeed. Unfortunately, it's not starting off hot in these two leagues, but it's always about the comeback, right? It's not how you start; it's how you finish. So hopefully, Ryan can start picking up some of these wins. But we got to give, a tip of the cap to Chris. He's the only
Absolutely.
one 2-0 this week. So he's sitting lonely up there on Winner's Island, but I mean that's a good place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But remember, he started there last year in our other league, just the same. And as soon as he started talking.
Yeah, that I mean that's
Stay
always
humble,
Chris.
Chris.
That's always Chris's downfall. He just, he'll start running his mouth just a little bit too much, and then he'll just start losing games within 2, 3, 4 points, and it just devastates him. And then he starts making changes, and but he always I'll tell you something about this about Chris. In every league he's been in, he either skates by or he does really well. So I mean, he's definitely one of the better fantasy football players I play with. He's consistent and he just loses a lot of close games. I mean, I'm gonna start calling him the Detroit Lions of fantasy football because man just doesn't know how to finish games.
No.
Oh, yeah, I mean that was a little rough, but he's my brother, so it's okay.
Yeah,
He's
how do we start with him up here and then just crush him in that last part of that sentence?
I mean, you got to keep him humble. Remember, we gotta
Yeah.
humbleize him. So until
Stay
further
humble,
notice,
Chris.
Chris is the Detroit Lions. I mean, he had two solid good weeks. So let's see uh, how it does next week.
Absolutely.
But we do have another announcement. I mean, we are playing each other in this week as well. So we're playing each other
Both
in both
leagues.
leagues. We wanted to talk a little bit about maybe a challenge that you proposed to go for next week.
Absolutely. We'll do this on the podcast. All right, since we're playing each other in both leagues. If if I win both, you take 2 shots of hot sauce. Doesn't matter what kind of hot sauce, but you take 2 shots. You win both, I'll take 2 shots of hot sauce. We go 1 and 1, we're both on here drinking hot sauce for all of them.
For all of them. This is for you guys, the viewers. We wanted to throw this in because me and Nick are both competitive. So like
Oh yeah.
we'll figure. I mean, since we're playing both each other in week 3, we're probably going to be playing both each other in like week 12. So it's going to be another challenge we'll have then. But for right now, we're going to be doing the hot sauce shot challenge. And you know me, I'm competitive. I want to go 2-0 and watch Nick take 2 shots to the mouth. But we're probably going to end up
Hey,
splitting. Oh, whoa, you heard me.
you,
Whoa, 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 whoa. But it's going to be a fun challenge. I'm probably going to say we're going to split the games. I have a feeling we're going to split the games and both end up taking shots.
oh well, I mean that makes it better for everyone,
Yeah, I mean,
except for me and you.
better for me and you, yeah, because neither one of us wants to be the only one taking shots, because the other person is going to be smiling and laughing. So, like, if we both have a little bit of pain, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so that sums up the team leagues, I believe. So we don't have another
Yep.
team league to go over. So I'm going to share this screen, and we actually have a guest this week. We're going
Mm.
to actually bring him in here now. This is Chad from my Toxic League. We're going to bring him in here and ask him a few questions about how his week went and talk about his players a little bit.
Are you bringing up
Hey,
his screen? Hey, what's going on, Chad?
what's up, guys? Hey, do you want me to turn camera on? I'm set up for streaming mode right now, so if you want
Yeah,
me
if
to,
you
I can.
want
I don't
to,
know.
if you want to turn the camera on, go ahead. Well,
Yeah.
let the stream see your beautiful face.
Let's
Look at
do it.
that.
What is up, guys? How you doing? Hey, I just want to say I listened to the whole first podcast. I've been on a work call while also listening to this podcast as well, and I just want to let you guys know I love it. I think it's entertaining. I think it's really enjoyable to listen to. I like your breakdowns. the jokes that go along with every breakdown make me giggle, and I don't even know who you guys are talking about, and I still love it.
Well, we definitely
Uh,
appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
We
good to
wanted
hear it.
we wanted to start something different for this fantasy football season, and bring a little bit more competitiveness, a little bit more fun to the season besides just the normal trash talk.
yeah, I love it. I look forward to this being a weekly thing. So keep it up, guys. I love it.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
so
you.
let me just start super quick. I'm just gonna read you guys my current team, and then that way you just have like everyone has a basis of where I'm at, and then we'll just go from there. So
Yeah.
quarterback, I started Josh Allen. Running back was Cordell Patterson and Najee Harris. Wide receiver was Cooper Cup and Jalen Waddle. Tight end was Zach Ertz. Wide receiver, running back, tight end slot was Hunter Renfro. Nick Folk was my kicker. Cowboys were my defense. And I'll get into my bench. I'll get into my bench later on when we talk. But that's who I started this week. So you guys tell me how you want to how you kind of want you guys
Well,
lead me and how you
I
want to go.
want to I want to address that. I saw Nick make a face when you heard Cooper Cup and Jalen Waddle. Let's go
And
over that real
Josh
quick.
Allen, like, did no one else draft in your league?
No, I mean there's superstar teams in our league,
Mm,
but he definitely he took Josh Allen early,
mm,
and that has paid off dividends already. I mean, two
Yep.
back-to-back superstar weeks, and
Hmm.
that paired with Cooper Cup, who even on a bad week for the Rams, he manages to get 30 fantasy football points. The dude is a cheat code.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so was Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, you could just hear by his team, you could go ahead and predict how he's doing this year so far in fantasy football. Your current status is 2-0, right, Chad? You're on
Yes.
Winter's Island
Yep.
currently. Who would you
Hmm.
say
Yeah.
your best pickup was? Because it's hard. I know it's hard between Cooper Cup and Josh Allen, but who do you rate as your best pickup?
All right. So for me, and this is probably not going to make much sense, but for me, my best pickup was Zach Ertz.
Okay.
Um, okay, so I drafted. So I'm a Giants fan, right? But as you know, Adam, the Cardinals are my second favorite team. So I play super. I pay attention to them, right? The last four games of the season last year for the Cardinals, Zach Ertz really became a primary target for Kyler, right?
Yes, he did.
And so I'm a Giants fan and Zach Ertz was an Eagle, so I watched this guy play for a decade. I know how good he is, right? And so for me, it kind of just for me, it kind of was just it was almost just like with Hopkins suspended, right?
Mm,
It just sort of felt like Zach Ertz was going to kind of be the guy. And what is the most interesting is that Zach Ertz was not my first tight end. I actually drafted Kyle Pitts first, and it wasn't until I realized that Ertz was still available. I think in like the 14th or 15th round. I mean, it's like devastating when I got Zach Ertz.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
oh
he
yeah.
sat in most draft boards until the very end because you grab a tight end around 4 or 5, and you get that guy
Mhm.
that's going to be your number one. Like tight ends are usually interchangeable, but for Zach Ertz to go that late is a robbery.
Yes, I agree. And I will say I felt that Patterson was a good pickup. He did not have a good week two. He started week one was exactly where he went, but I know the Falcons gave him 2 years. They're bringing in a new offense that is run based around Marcus Mariota. I just felt like Patterson made a lot of sense. I think that by week five, I'll start seeing consistent 15 20-point weeks out of him every single week. Like he'll give me like next week or the week after, he might give me another one, right? Maybe sprinkle another 9 to 12 point performance in. I do expect as they get more familiar with that new system there to see, the Falcons believe in Patterson. They paid him for 2 years, so I believe that they viewed him as a reliable. I'm just concerned that he's going to get burnt out at the end of the year because of how old he is. But we'll see. And then of course my other pickup, was Waddle. I mean, I even wrote about it in our chat. I when we were drafting, I barely said anything, and when I got Waddle, there were a bunch of receivers that were drafted in front of Jalen, right? And I wrote, how a guy that had 100+ receptions in a PPR league as a rookie, who now is going to have Tyreek Hill to the other side of him, which means when Tyreek's not open, those dumps just go right to Waddle, who, again, in his rookie season, broke the NFL record for receptions by a rookie,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? He went draft. I got him way too late in the draft. And I was, as you can, as I'm sure, I see Nick just shaking his head over and over again, like, yep.
Everything you're saying, yep.
No, I mean Waddle was
y-
a steal as well for you. I am a little concerned with them going into the Buffalo next week. I mean,
Me too.
it's 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 hard to like factor in that Buffalo defense. So I mean, they're superstars. Don't get me wrong. Waddle's a superstar. Tyreek Hill's a superstar. Tua is showing that he's a superstar. But I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed in the performances next week. But then the week after that, they'll be right back to doing what they do. So
Yep, yep. I'm a little nervous about next week, to be honest with you. I don't really love a majority of my matchups. I I think that Renfro is getting pulled out this week, and Jacoby Myers, who just continues to prove to be Mac Jones' guy that he goes to on
Hmm.
that team. I think that he's going to get the start over Renfro. Amari Cooper's just the guy in Oakland. I mean, and I'm or not in Oakland.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
In Cleveland, not and Devonte Adams. I'm sorry,
Oh, Devontae
Devonte
Adams. Yeah, yeah,
Adams is
yeah.
he's the guy. I was concerned at the start of the year that part of Devonte Adams being so good was Aaron Rodgers, and yeah,
No.
no,
Yeah.
Devonte Adams is that good.
Yeah, he's a
uh,
superstar.
yeah, so I still have faith. I really I'm a little concerned about my running backs. I think I got disconnected from the draft right as I was up, and so it auto drafted Ezekiel Elliott as my number 2 running back, which I never would have done. So I might have to do something there at some point. I might just play the waiver wire. Speaking of waiver wire, real quick, one guy that you could have on the waiver wire, who is it?
Currently,
Hmm.
let's see. I personally, I've been looking. I got to look up his name real quick, because he is from the Jets, but he is
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett
Garrett
Wilson.
Wilson.
I'm
Mhm.
currently looking at him for because in this league specifically because my wide receivers outside of Justin Jefferson are not good until Chris Godwin and DeAndre Hopkins get healthy. So,
Yep.
oh wait, no, this is a different league. I am looking at, but my wide receivers aren't that good. I mean, I have Jamar Chase, I have DeAndre Hopkins in the weight, so those guys are good. But like my flex wide receiver, I'm looking for a new guy, and I'm looking for that guy off the Jets. I think he's gonna. I think he's getting the touches over Elijah Moore, and he's already proven that. I mean, he could put up points reliably 2 weeks in a row, and the Jets don't look bad.
The Jets look
They do.
really good this season.
No, no, they don't. As someone who has watched both Jet games from beginning to end,
They look
no,
good.
no,
They don't look good, but they don't
They
look
look
bad. They
good.
look like a middle of the run team that's going to end up going even this year, probably. But
Mm.
they have some fantasy relevance, which is nice.
yes. Yeah, I think that their defense looks good. That I will say. Their defense has looked very good
I
this year.
stand I stand
Joe
corrected.
Flacco's
Fantasy, they look good.
Yeah, yeah.
in fantasy, right? Joe Flacco has looked decent. Michael Carter has looked decent, but Garrett Wilson
Mhm.
looks special.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna say. I've watched those first 2 games from beginning to end. The kid looks special.
You
Yeah.
know who else? Braxton Berrios.
Barrios. Oh
Berrios
yeah, yeah.
actually
Yeah, when I
looking
was watching
really
that
good.
game, Barrios was
Mhm.
catching some nice passes there.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's kind of shocking how little we've seen from Elijah Moore over there. I mean, he had a good season last year. I don't know if it was just like the connections to Zach Wilson or if he's still get on the same page as Joe Flacco. But Zach Wilson's expected to be back, I believe, week 5. So that little concerning. So maybe those touches go from Barrios and Wilson to Elijah Moore a little bit more.
Or
Yeah, well said.
What about
Can I
you,
can I give
Nick?
you?
What
Oh
is
yeah,
your
go
waiver
ahead.
wire pickup?
Who's your guy?
well, mine's hard because I'm in two 14-man leagues and a 6-man league, so there's there's slim pickings everywhere, and then there's superstars on our
Everything.
other one. I think I just dropped David Robinson on our crazy league, so I mean, it's hard. Honestly, I've been searching the way I scour the waiver wires every day, and there's no one that I haven't either already put in for or that I already have that I would even want right now.
So who's that person that you put in for? Yeah, remember this is coming up Wednesday, so
Okay,
yeah,
well, I had to get rid of my defense. I had Colts defense in 2 leagues.
yes, it's a
So,
massive pull the plug on the Colts defense.
yes, absolutely. Across the board, Colts are gone. I need to pick up other defenses because they're just continuing to ruin my chances at anything.
Yeah, so I mean, you're definitely going after defense. I know you're probably going after the Eagles in easy dubs, and I'll let you know right now that I have a priority waiver over you, and so I'm probably going to be grabbing the Eagles in that league as well. So, screw you over back to back in both leagues and take those Eagles from you.
With
But
with the Eagles, both.
but we do it from the bottom of our heart, all right. But
Mhm.
it's ruthless out here. But
But I don't need the Eagles in easy dubs actually, because I have Buccaneers.
okay, so you're solid in easy dubs if you have the Buccaneers.
Okay.
But Chad, who are you looking for on your waiver wire this week?
So my favorite pickup of the week, which is just I think a long-term play, but has an asterisk attached to it because of the team that he's on, is Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson. Okay.
Yeah, the rookie receiver out of Washington. And here's my thing. Watching Carson Wentz throw the football, there's one thing that I know about him. He picks one or two guys that he likes, and that's all that he ever throws to the entire game.
Yep.
And so far this year, Dotson has 40 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in game 1 and 59 yards receiving and a touchdown in game 2. So he's got 3 TDs in his first 2 games, right? Okay. Beginner's luck, not a crazy amount of yards,
Right.
but he's establishing that he's a guy that he relies on in the end zone and that he's going to continue to grow a rapport with. And Dotson was a decent, he was a good college player too. So it's not like it's really that crazy that, he's looking good. And so for me, he's just shown enough where I'm interested now. And I think that he is, if you have a receiver sitting on your bench where you kind of know what his ceiling at the end of the day is,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're just gonna be there to fill in for 2 games during bye weeks, and that's literally the only rule. Honestly, I like Dotson as a fill-in for him over that because he already is starting to cement himself as one of those guys that is gonna be good for the 10 to 12 points on the bye week.
Yep.
But if he develops a better relationship with Wentz and becomes his number one target, which will be tough with McLaurin and Samuel out there, but if he does, and especially if he establishes himself as the end zone target, I think he's a real nice 20 points out of nowhere type of guy, and not once every 6 weeks, but once every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
mean, definitely would be a good flex option if he gets that ceiling a little bit higher. Someone he could rely on week to week
Mhm.
to fix that flex for you. Because if Carson Wentz starts targeting him like he's gonna, if he's getting these reliable touches in the red zone, it's
Yep.
gonna be the ceiling's gonna be high for him eventually with Carson Wentz. I mean, Carson Wentz hasn't had. I mean, they got beat by Detroit. Yeah, they got beat by
Yeah.
Detroit, which is looking good. Um,
They put up points the first 2 games. You
yeah, I
gotta give them
mean,
credit.
you saw what the Eagles did to Vikings, and then Detroit came in, almost won that game, and then comes in and just smashes Washington. Like that's a dark horse team right there. I
Yeah.
mean, they're very capable to be 2-0 right now over the Eagles. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's a little shocking, but definitely a good pickup on the waiver wire if anyone's looking for that guy, like you said, to sit on your bench and develop. and a possible sleeper towards the end of the league when you start to make
Yep.
that playoffs run if he,
Hmm.
if he's available.
Especially like a
Yep.
deeper league,
So.
like my 14-man leagues. That would be definitely someone to look into.
Yep, yep. No,
Hmm.
definitely for the
Oh
14
yeah.
man leagues. I mean, even in a 10-man league, when you're just sitting someone on the bench, you have spot on the bench, someone that the ceiling is 8 points, like you said, like you're going to put him in there for a bye week and hope he does good. So, I mean, he's definitely someone to keep. And that's what I'm kind of doing with Damian Pierce. We haven't had a crazy game from him, but I think that kid's a stud. I think he's going to, take over at Houston and definitely keeping him in my back pocket for later games. He
A
was my
rainy
that was my
day.
plan. Yeah, rainy day.
Yeah.
Because you never know in fantasy, your superstar can go down like that, and you're scrambling. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ah, it's the worst feeling. So, all right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna hop off. Thank you guys for having me on. I
well,
appreciate
thank
you.
you for being on.
Keep
We
killing it,
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
and I look forward to let Adam let me know when this goes live so I can listen to the rest of it. All right.
Appreciate you, Chad, and good luck on Winners Island. Hopefully you stay there for
Thank you.
next week, and
I'll see you there tomorrow, fam.
see you there tomorrow. Have a good night, buddy.
All right.
Have a
Bye,
good one.
guys. Take
All right,
care.
later.
Bye.
Alrighty.
All right, so that's bringing us towards the end of the podcast. I do want to ask you, who were you impressed by the most this week?
You know my answer here. Lamar Jackson.
Mar
You
Jackson.
can't say anybody. I mean, you could say the Dolphins wide receiver core
Yeah,
or Lamar Jackson.
or Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going to go with. It was the Dolphins wide receiver core. They just, I mean, balled out. I mean, Tua can go up there too. I mean, 6 TDs in a week.
Right.
That's killer points. But what Lamar did was special this week. I mean,
Absolutely.
Baltimore threw away the game at the end, but it doesn't defeat the fact that Lamar went out there and balled out.
You see, the only difference I think is, you can try to defend Lamar in the air. He's just gonna run.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to beat you with his legs. I mean, same thing
Yeah.
that Jalen Hurts has been showing. I mean, he has nothing open. He's going to take it down for 15 yards. And
Mhm.
Jalen Hurts is nothing to like. He's a big quarterback. Like he's not super big, but I mean, he's a strong guy. I've seen him bench 600 pounds, or not bench, but squat 600 pounds. And it's like
He's jacked.
yeah, he's jacked. But I mean, like that's a hard guy to take down, and Lamar Jackson's a hard guy to take down as well. Like when he runs, when Josh Allen runs, when Jalen Hurt runs, like they're looking to put some damage on some cornerbacks, some safeties.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. They're both crazy, honestly. If you can't stop a quarterback from getting outside of the backfield, you got a problem. And with those guys, that's an absolute problem.
Yeah, I mean it's where they can hurt you in other ways is just phenomenal. I mean, watching these quarterbacks in this league now, and when a majority of them have the running potential that they do,
Mm.
it's scary. Like for a defense, like how do you stay on top of that? Like you try to keep them contained, they run
Right.
up the field on you.
Yeah.
You don't keep them contained. They're scrambling, and then right when you think you're about to sack them, they pass it for 50 yards. So
Right.
it's
They got arms on them too. It's not just the legs.
yeah, it's not just the legs. I mean, they're the full packages. All right. Now, talking about the highlights of this week, who is your most disappointing players this week?
I have to give mine to a collective.
I think we're on the
Um, and
same
I
page here.
and I talked about it earlier. Tampa Bay. I mean, you got Tom Brady, Fournette, Evans. I mean, you got Godwin. I would say Tampa Bay as a collective, their offense, not their defense, of course,
No,
because
their
their
defense
defense
is
is going
like
crazy and
superb.
winning them games. But yeah, their offense as a collective, I would say, is my letdown of the week. Their fantasy relevance, it was null and void.
Yeah,
Thank
I mean
God. I don't
Leonard
think
Fournette
anybody
had
made double
9
digits.
points. And
Yeah.
Tom Brady had a terrible week again. So yeah, I mean that's super disappointing. But I'm gonna go a little farther disappointing than the Tampa Bay. I actually have two whole teams that I'm disappointed in, and that's going to be the Colts.
Tennessee.
Huh?
Tennessee.
Tennessee and the Colts. I mean, Derrick Henry, another week where he has single digits.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor, he had a decent first
7.9,
week,
wasn't it?
but yeah, I mean, he didn't have a good second week. The Colts looked terrible. The Titans looked terrible, and it's just like these guys went in the first round. Jonathan Taylor was the overall first round pick,
I know. Trust me,
and
I know.
he's on this team where they can't even get to block for this man. Like if he gets 5 yards down the field, he's turning it in to 20 yards.
Right.
And they can't even get that. Like Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry are getting hit in the backfield.
Yeah, they're not even getting hit in the backfield. They're getting driven back from the backfield.
Yeah, and it's just like Derrick Henry went in the first round. Jonathan Taylor went in the first round. And it's just, I mean, they have Matt Ryan over there in Indy now.
Mm-hmm.
They look worse than they did last year.
Yeah.
It's
Well, if you think about it, the first how many picks of the draft, the complete draft, had an upsetting week this week because you had Jonathan Taylor, you had Najee Harris, you had Derrick Henry, Jefferson. Cooper Cup was the only one, I think, the outlier of the first how many picks?
yeah. I mean Cooper Cup. I mean that kid is a cheat code, man. Stafford's
It's
gonna find
ridiculous.
him the ball no matter what. He's gonna get his touches. But he is literally the only one out of like I would say the top 7 that has consistently done something. I mean
Yep.
Jefferson had a bad week. Jamar Chase had a bad week.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry. The list goes on. I mean Joe Mixon,
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. I mean it's just this year. The start of this year is insane. I mean, Austin Eckler, he hasn't been
Yeah.
doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, I mean, the Chargers haven't been looking like they're supposed to be looking. You know,
Well,
as like
the Jets are doing good. The Jaguars are doing good. The
Lions.
Colts are getting crushed. The Lions are doing great. We've entered another dimension here.
Yeah, I mean, I told my team or I told my group text the other day. I was like, I never thought I'd be rooting for the Jets to like upset a team, and
Right.
rooting for like the Detroit Lions to be like, damn, they're a good team. Like it's
Well, the Cleveland Browns are like I was looking at the Vegas. I think they got like a 70% chance of beating Pittsburgh this week. Who would think the Browns?
Yeah, I mean they didn't look terrible last week. They gave up some last minute scores. They gave up that onside kick, which I mean, which just kills them. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they go in and beat Pittsburgh. And another team that I mean, we got to honorable mention like how bad they're doing is Cincinnati. Started out 0-2 this season.
And it's not even like they're just getting barely squeaked by. They're getting whooped on.
Yeah, I mean they tried to come back in the Pittsburgh game. Almost, they tied it, lost in overtime. They tried to come back against the Cowboys and lost that game
Mhm.
by 3 points. So like they're the Detroit Lions this year, you know, losing close games. Yeah, they did an
Yep.
opposite switch with the Detroit Lions, you know, and I did hear a stat like 0-2 teams that start off the season like have like a 95% chance of not making the playoffs. So like
Ooh,
imagine the Super Bowl losers of last year not even making it to the playoffs. That would,
right.
I mean, and their superstar, they went and spent out all this money on their offensive line, and Justin Hurt or Joe Burrow has been sacked 13 times already.
Right.
So like, you can't have your superstar quarterback running for his life and getting sacked because you're not going to win these games if your defense can't keep you in it.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, just disappointing, disappointing fantasy superstars so far. So hopefully we have a little bit more highlights to talk about next week. But this week, you know, a lot of guys in that top draft pick, you
Yep.
know, just disappointing.
We need to see more. Just get better.
Just get better. That's your overall tone. Just get better. But
Mhm.
that's going to conclude us for week 2 of this podcast. I want to thank you again, Nick, for co-hosting this with me. I hope you had a good time. And
Thanks again, Chad.
yeah, thanks to Chad for coming in and dropping some knowledge on us.
Mhm.
I know that man loves fantasy football. He always does good every year, but he a little secret about Chad, if he's still listening, he chokes in the semifinals. He hasn't been to the finals to face me yet because back-to-back champ in that league. But Mr. Semifinalist is.
Are you calling it?
No, I mean, until he proves me otherwise.
Are you calling it? I mean, Chad might still be listening. Are you calling it right now? He's gonna choke.
I think he's gonna choke in the semifinals again.
Sorry, Chad.
But
just get better.
Yeah, just get better. Postseason, get better. You have a great regular season. Just postseason, get better. But I think he could definitely make a run this year. I mean, he's got Josh Allen and Cooper Kupp. He's got Waddle.
Well,
he's
got everyone.
Yeah, he's as long as those guys stay healthy, he's got a real good shot at the end of the season. But again, we want to thank you guys for joining us on episode 2. We'll be back next week with our hot sauce challenge. So you guys get to see who takes the shots
in advance.
Yeah, because I mean they're gonna have to see it, and you're gonna have to take it. So you love to see it. All right, later, buddy.
Later, man.
Goodbye, YouTube. Peace out. Thank you for watching, and we love you guys. Bye.